soon, so I wanted to welcome everybody and say hello. Um, Thank you so much for joining our webinar on how you can use smart technology for your data. We're really happy that you've joined us, and we can get started. So I'm going to throw out some kind of alarming statistics right now. Our industry generates a wealth of data. And according to a latest report, 88% of AEC firms that were polled are data-driven. And even though those data-driven practices achieve a much higher profit growth for the firms that are using them than other firms, the reality is that most of that data is left untapped. For example, 95% of all data collected on engineering and construction projects goes unused. So that's why we're talking to you today. I'm Catherine Brill. I'm the products manager at KCI, which is a leading engineering and technology firm, providing services and products for users within the transportation, construction, water, and power industries. And I'm joined by my colleagues, Carl Keller, who is a senior systems engineer. He's also the leader of our machine learning operations and development efforts, and also joined by Jay Kwan, who is our product sales engineer. In today's webinar, we're going to be discussing data analysis challenges within the larger AEC industry. We'll also provide a live demo of BRYX, along with a deep dive into what the unique value proposition of BRYX is and how it can help you. And finally, we're going to end the webinar with an interactive Q&A session, as we have one of the leading experts on ML in the AEC industry on hand, Carl, to answer any questions you may have. And one thing before we get started, this webinar is really designed to be interactive. At the end of the webinar, you will have direct access to chat, enter comments, questions that we can then answer. So to get started, let's talk about the data explosion that's happened recently. There's just been a huge amount of data that is now being generated and used in our industry, with an average of 25 terabytes in 2023. This is due to a variety of reasons, including the digital transformation that's occurring within AEC firms. Digital tools are being adopted for a variety of reasons, whether it be project delivery, design collaboration, or site management. There's also a widespread adoption of advanced technologies that collect a wealth of data, such as drones, 3D laser scanners, and IoT sensors. And finally, our industry does rely a lot on data intensive processes, whether it be processing point cloud data from laser scanners, or having to do real-time quality review and control, developing engineering models, and more. And here in this slide, I've listed some examples of the types of data that is being generated in key markets within the larger AEC industry. So you see transportation generates data from sensors, cameras, sound meters, historical records, aerial imagery. This is not an exhaustive list, but gives you a good example of where all this data is coming from. Construction data comes from job site sensors or cameras, field data. Wastewater data comes from SCADA systems, sensors, inspections, CCTV inspections, and then there's also environmental data that we're capturing from satellite imagery and drones, as well as field work. So why not use all of that data for a competitive edge? this kind of data can be used for a variety of purposes, including predicting or preventing safety accidents, optimizing processes, reducing manual work time, making decisions, data-driven decisions, and all of that really frees up people to stop uh, concentrating or having to do more manual, repetitive tasks, and instead they can focus on more strategic, high-impact activities. And with AI, vast amounts of data can be processed at very high speed. So that is how AI can help with all of this data that is being generated in our industry right now. So AI can analyze thousands of data points in seconds, quickly identify anomalies or defects that might be missed by human eyes, generate recommendations, and also, this is one of the powerful aspects of AI, is that it continuously learns and improves from more data that is submitted into the AI model. So that is why we created BRYX. It is our scalable platform for AEC users, designed for processing large volumes of data. BRYX offers a catalog of pre-trained AI solutions. We call them models a lot. They're machine learning, computer vision, as well as computational models for a variety of industries. They can be run right from the BRYX platform or also integrated with a user's third-party application that they're more comfortable with. And the power behind BRYX is that it's offering that very speedy, scalable data processing, so that users don't have to wait days and days to receive their results. Instead, with BRYX, they can go to the BRYX platform, gobryx.com, upload their data, run that data through the BRYX model that they're interested in, and then access the results all from within BRYX. So something that usually would take either a human days and days to complete, or it would take, if you send that data out to a service, again, there would be days long, weeks long turnaround time. With BRYX, those days and weeks are minimized and shrunk down so that you get your results back in minutes and hours. And this gives you some idea of the advantage that BRYX is providing to our industry. We are delivering AI for our industry. We are making AI very easily accessible from gobryx.com and also very affordable. That's why it's very low risk implementation. You're not having to invest in a large expensive platform in order to take advantage of AI capabilities. Instead, you can just pay for the use of one specific BRYX AI model. It's very scalable, very easy to use. And overall, with the large amount of data that is generated, as we've discussed, people are struggling to get a handle of what's actually in that data and what kind of insights can be derived from that data. With BRYX, your data can be organized. You can organize your data as well as generate useful information and insights from it. So with this slide, I'm going to turn it over to our AI expert, Carl, to talk about some of our technology aspects to BRYX.
Yep, thanks, Catherine. Well, we've been on a really interesting ML AI journey now for a couple of years with the BRYX product line. And as you've already heard from Catherine, these kinds of applications rely on a lot of data, and that is in two ways. They need data to learn from. So for us to build a model that can perform vision tasks, whether that's observation or classification or both, they have to be trained to do that. There aren't generally out-of-the-box solutions that know what many of the engineering features of interest are, would be able to recognize them necessarily. So they do consume a lot of data for training. And then, of course, on the usage side, we call that inference. That's where the model is getting used. In the inference process, they have the capability, as Catherine mentioned, to process huge amounts of data, and we take advantage of that through our batch processing. So in a typical engineering workflow, you might be doing some form of feature recognition, classification over videos or large collections of imagery. And we don't require that any of that really be changed or pre-configured into any specific form. We can consume video data, we can consume imagery, we can consume sound audio files and audio data in one of our models. So there are lots of conveniences that are sort of built into the way we're using our models. Um, so the work of what you might often see in competing approaches for, say, large platforms is there may be a transformation process that you would need to go through for your data sources, and we don't need to do that. We work directly with the artifacts that human engineers would be working with. Um, it also doesn't necessarily use specific technology. It's not a one size fits all, or kind of a hammer approach to everything. It would probably surprise a lot of people here to know that in our development, so in the design, development, deployment phase, in particular, the design to development phase, we are often dealing with multiple types of learning systems. It's not always a cut and dried type decision to say, oh, I'm going to use, vision-based model X to do this problem because all the vision problems are the same. We might have a traditional neural network vision problem or vision application. We might also have, in parallel with that, a more exotic neural network application to do that. And then we might even have a third one that doesn't use traditional vision at all, but formulates it as a search problem and does fast search over a large space. So there are plenty of different pieces of technology to be sorted through, and we pick the ones that give us the best overall performance, both, in terms of the model recognition task and also in terms of just raw speed and being able to do the processing, because we know that that's where a lot of time is being consumed, but for the human processing workflow. Um, the different models that we have, as I kind of hinted at, are different technologies. They're specific to the problems we solve. And a very good example of that is the sewer example. We have two sewer products. One does object detection in sewer pipelines, and the other model does recommendation generation. The second problem is really a policy application problem. And we quickly determined that we didn't have the training data necessarily to solve that problem and to take a machine learning approach to it. So we actually relied on a kind of tried and true policy automation approach called rule-based systems technology, which also has its inference capability to solve that recommendation engine component, coupled with traditional Python programming to do grades and metrics. So we don't take a one-size-fits-all approach to anything. We're really focused specifically on what the task is and how that's going to be maintained long term.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.
So here I've put together some examples of our models that we have in the BRYX catalog, and actually organized by the data that it processes. So for LiDAR data, we have several models that can process the point cloud data that's coming from 3D laser scanners um, for concrete floor analysis as well as point cloud cleaning. We also, as Carl had talked about, um, have a few models that are specifically designed to analyze the data coming from sewer inspections. We also have an audio classification model that is analyzing sound recordings that have been taken from traffic noise impact studies. And then a variety of our computer vision models are really designed to analyze data, aerial data, either data from drones or flown up ahead for specific use cases in construction as well as environmental sciences and transportation. We even analyze images that have been taken from a mobile device for our power pole equipment detection model that is specifically designed for the power industry. And finally, vehicle mounted cameras. We analyze images coming from those type of cameras to assess the overall condition of a roadway. So I'm going to switch gears, get out of presentation mode, and show you how easy BRYX is to use. So this is the BRYX platforms, gobryx.com, available for anybody. Very easy to create a free account and get started. And you'll see here that there is marketing information about the BRYX offering as well as access to our BRYX models that are a part of our BRYX catalog. And when you log into BRYX, the first thing you see actually is a personalized dashboard that gives you information on the data that you've uploaded, the data that you've run through a specific BRYX model. And you see here as a logged in user, I have other options on the left-hand side of the page, and one of them is data sets. So that's really the first step that you take after you log into your own BRYX account is you upload your data. And it's as simple as selecting the Create Dataset button and then dragging, dropping, or browsing for your files and uploading them. Once they're uploaded, they'll appear here and they're part of your BRYX account, and then they are ready to be run through the BRYX model that you're interested in. The last thing I want to show here is that once that data has been processed, the results are found here in my results page. So here I can view all of the different models that I've run. I can access the specific results for a model. I can download the model results to look at it locally, or in some cases I can view the results right from BRYX. There were two particular uh, models that I wanted to just talk about very quickly while I've got you here. One is our sewer defect detection model that uses computer vision to analyze sewer pipe video and automatically detect any cracks, deposits, fractures, roots, and other sewer defects that it finds. This model was designed to really streamline what is traditionally a very time-consuming manual task of having to review sewer pipes to find defects, classify them correctly, and let the municipality, the sewer pipe owner, know what's going on underground. Instead of having to do that manually, all you need to do is feed your sewer inspection video through our model, and our model will then detect the results. So if I going to start this model run now, and you'll see that when the model is done, it will be in our results page. But that gives you a really good view of how simple it is to use BRYX. To use BRYX to upload your data, to run your model, and then access your results. The other model that I wanted to talk about today is actually new. This is designed for environmental scientists, um, landowners who are looking to optimize the detection and control of invasive plant species, which is a huge problem, especially with Phragmites. So this model is actually looking at drone imagery of a vast area of land, and then analyzing that drone imagery and then finding and mapping the Phragmites that it finds, which is Phragmites is an incredibly invasive and destructive plant. So this model finds that Phragmites and then outputs shape files that can then be fed into the sprayer drone for targeted treatment. And again, when you use, okay, so you see here my model just ended. That gives you an indication of how fast BRYX runs. But when I start my Frag Finder trial, all I need to do is select my drone imagery that I've already uploaded, and then Frag Finder will do the rest. So going back here to our slideshow, I just wanted to give you a good indication of what some of our output is. This is an example of our sewer defect detection model, automatically detecting the defects in the pipe, validating what the human labeler found, and actually, in this case, finding more, finding defects that the human labeler missed. So you can see how that would really speed that QA workflow. And then the next slide gives you, oh, sorry, this as part of that delivery, we also give a summary report that you can download. But here I wanted to give you a good example of what our Frag Finder results are. So that is that model I was talking about that looks at drone imagery and automatically maps out the Phragmites found from the drone imagery. You can see here that the hatched out marks in yellow are where the what the model found for Phragmites. This really saves a lot of manual having to go and having someone physically draw polygons around the Phragmites that it finds. Instead, that the person finds, instead our model does it for them. So Jay, I think you were going to talk about next steps and free trials.
Yes, thank you, Kathleen. And hello, everyone. My name is Jay Kwan. I'm a sales engineer at BRYX team. And based on what Kathleen Cowles went through, it gave you guys the interesting, or I want to try out, or I have a whole bunch of the datas sitting in here that I wanted to try out in BRYX. So therefore, the step is very simple, straightforward. And please go to the website, and you can simply create your accounts and password. Then you can upload your data simply, and you can start the model. And during this process, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, and then I can help you to pre-educate it or make sure you feel confidence about our model and what you're doing in your current workflow. So that being said, you might be also wondering about, okay, what if I like this tool? How much would that be? So therefore, we have three different options. So first, if you simply want to try out, everything is pretty flexible, but however, there's some limited here. You can upload up to 1 GB during the tryout, but however, there's no payment is required, and then you'll be getting full technical support during that period. And there is a two options: pay as you go or subscription plan. So if you, one of the great things about our price option is it doesn't require the high investment on it. So, or I might just need to do it for a few times just for the one specific projects. Then we believe that pay as you go will be the best options. So whatever you run your model, that's what you'll be paying for. Where you see that there are projects that will do it for a couple of years or a couple of months that I'll be continually using it, I'll be continuing running your model, then the subscription plan will be more suitable for you, where subscription plan will be has a benefit of uploading 75 gigabytes of the data, and also how many times you run your model will be cheaper, and depends on your which model that you'll be using it, the price will be different. So therefore, when you want to talk more specific about this, you can also reach out to me. I can go through which model or the price option will be good fit for you. So yeah, go ahead, Kathleen.
No, at this point, I think we want to turn it over to you guys to see if you have any questions that we could help you with. I mean, we do have some kind of common questions that we listed here in this slide that we can go over now. But as we're going over this slide, please, I encourage you to type in your questions in the Q&A chat so that we could address any specific questions you might have about BRYX.
Yes, and don't be shy.
I think Jay just went over how to start a free trial. All of our BRYX models come with free trials, no commitment required. Just upload your own data and run the model and see if you like the results. And it's a great way to evaluate whether our models fit your particular use cases. How do I purchase credits? Credits can be purchased right from gobricks.com. We integrate with Stripe, so just go to the pricing page and enter the number of credits that you would like to purchase, and then follow through that credit card processing step. And speaking of credit cards, payment methods that we accept are all the major credit cards. And the last question I think is really interesting, and I want to hone in on it. If you don't see the model that you need in the BRYX catalog, we actually do have, and let me try to switch over if I can, a light bulb here, new model request option that allows you to share your idea for a new model. You can also talk to reach out to Jay directly. We're always interested in hearing about how we could help with specific use cases. So very much like to hear more feedback on BRYX as far as what it currently has or what it needs in the future. Let's see. Okay, don't see any questions yet, so I'll go to that page for you, Jay.
All right, thank you, Kathleen. So thank you again for joining the BRYX webinar today. While the section is coming to close, your journey with the BRYX just about to starting. So now that you've seen the BRYX platform, what can we do? You might be thinking, oh, I want to try this out, or like Kathleen mentioned, that maybe I have some idea that I would like to add it or I like to utilize the BRYX platforms to do it. So that being said, whichever path that you are interested about it, please reach out to us. And also I'll be reaching out to you guys directly. So I'm looking forward to get to know you guys a little bit more on it. But in meantime, I think we are finally receiving the questions. So I'll pass on to Kathleen to go over this.
All right. Thanks, Jay. Thank you, Herman, and I'll probably have Carl step in on this as well. The first question was, how does BRYX ensure the accuracy and reliability of its predictions or reviews? Carl, did you want to weigh in on that one?
Yeah, sure. It varies a little bit between models, but for the core of our vision models, we use a variety of metrics. Our primary metric is called the MAP score. So that stands for mean average precision. And what's really cool about a MAP score is that inherent in it is a trade-off between precision and recall. And in a machine learning model, recall is the ability to just tell you everything that it sees, regardless of the confidence level, whereas precision is that ability to give you, a very good level of confidence in what it's returning. So we use that and we actually expose that to the user through a parameter in the interface that allows them to change the threshold between recall and precision. And we found that to be really valuable. Sometimes if you're trying to process imagery quickly, you're willing to give up some precision to just see what the model is seeing. And other times, you may have a requirement that you achieve a certain level of precision in the model. And so, you crank it up. So that tracking of metrics is something that goes on iteratively as we build the model. And our data, you might be interested to know, is typically separated out in three categories. So there's training data, there's validation data, which is used during the training cycles where the error in the validator is compared with, whatever we're targeting. And then the last group is test data that is unseen. So we keep a set aside test data set so that we, as the developers of these models, can go to the test data set and see how the model is performing on data that it hasn't seen before. The last component of that is that we have, although the test data hasn't been seen before, we also have the option of using truly wild data. So as customers come in to use the tool, some customers may opt for our reuse option. So that gives us the ability to leverage the new data that they provide, and we can set that aside entirely into a test data set if we would like to do that. So that's more or less. There's a lot of other little intricacies to it, but we're basically tracking the metrics that the models are automatically generating for us and making sure we meet the thresholds we've defined.
Thank you. So there's a question from David Lee. How long can we use the trial? Thank you for your question and your interest in trials. All of our BRYX trials are 7 days long. You are able to process up to 5 gigabytes of data. And so and I believe that there's a limitation on you can run the model 5 times. All right, so then several more questions coming in. Another one from Hernan. Can it be customized to fit our processes, naming conventions, and standards? So, and Carl, you might want to jump in. I saw you unmuted.
Sure, yeah, I could jump in on that. Well, as far as customizing to new workflows, depending on what that is, it's probably outside the scope of what we're offering. So for instance, we have a well-defined workflow within the industry for sewer, and we've adopted that workflow. That workflow is also heavily influenced by the NASCO standard. So there's a wastewater standard that we follow. So we wouldn't at this point be supporting, say, other nomenclature associated with sewer pipeline or other process flows associated with generating recommendations. We're following what's a generally well-accepted standard. Now, in the case where there aren't standards, again, as Catherine mentioned earlier, we're always looking for great ideas, and we would certainly evaluate those things. All you have to do is drop it in the light bulb that Catherine showed off, and we would be taking a look at it for sure.
Thanks. And then other question is, it is only cloud-based. What if we have security restrictions or limited cloud access? BRYX is a cloud platform at this point, and that's our models are available on the BRYX platform. We do have on the roadmap discussions or plans for taking these models, taking them in another direction as far as making them more available, for example, downloadable. Let's see, last question, is there training or onboarding support provided by KCI? Yeah, I mean, definitely we would give you training or onboarding support. I would like to put a plug in for how intuitively designed the BRYX platform is. It's as simple as uploading your data, running that data through the model. Most of our models, with the exception of RoboFlat and RoboClean, which are very specialized point cloud processing applications, don't require a lot of configuration. So that's one of the beauties of BRYX. However, yes, we would support you in any way possible. I'm sure that Jay would be right on that. Ellen asks, please show the first few slides on the deck. I want to make sure I capture it properly as I was a little late joining. Sure, and as a reminder, we're going to have this webinar recording available to everybody, and we'll be sending that out soon. So if you missed the first few slides, you can definitely see them again in that recording. And what does BRYX stand for? Love that question, sometimes get it. So BRYX is it doesn't stand for anything. It was a clever play on the fact that all of our BRYX models are designed for the architecture, engineering, and construction industry. So we thought BRYX, as in bricks, building bricks, and BRYX as in we're building intelligence through AI. We wanted to make that connection. And then last question, do you all have a prototype AI tool to use for preparation of proposal in response to RFQs or RFPs? Very interesting question. I mean, the short answer is we don't. Carl, did you want to ask anything about this? We could.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that the idea, which would basically be to run some of your data or customer data through the AI product, to generate some output for you for an RFQ, RFP. That could be done in BRYX. Obviously, if it's your data, you can run that data through BRYX and then incorporate it in any way you like. That is, if you consider that to be your data or if it's publicly available data. If it's customer proprietary data, obviously I would have to advise that you speak to the customer about that before you dump it into ours or anybody else's tool for those kind of things. But yeah, generally your output is your output. So if you want to use it that way, that's great.
Oh, thank you. And I'm glad that you enjoyed the webinar. I think that we're past time, and I don't think we have any more questions. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for joining. Thank you for being so engaged, and hope to talk soon again about BRYX, and don't forget gobrix.com. There is one thing I wanted to say before people log off. Carl and I have been conducting LinkedIn Live events where we talk about timely, topical subjects regarding AI in our AEC industry. So I highly encourage all of you to follow the BRYX page on LinkedIn so that you can learn more and about those events and tune in when they come. All right. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.